So,
Indeed.
yeah. So here we go with box office.
Yep. So, rounding out our top five, we've got Avatar: The Way of Water with 15 million to add on to its $2 billion gross. Puss in Boots with 10, and then a new drop called Pathan, which is a Indian movie, which at number three, which I'm reasonably certain this is the highest. It's an Indian movie has made it into the U.S. box office. I remember that there was one last summer that it was a big deal that it had made like 3 million its opening weekend.
Hmm. And hey, D Rhino, good to see you.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, it wasn't RRR, was it?
No, RRR I think was a bigger deal on Netflix. Like I think it
Okay.
got like limited showings. Although, as is one of my catchphrases, why speculate wildly when we can double check?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's du- 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 du. Opening weekend. Okay, so I guess it did have a big opening weekend. I don't know why people are saying this one's historic.
Yeah.
That 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 could just be I don't know. Didn't research it. Didn't have time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. That's all right. I think Pantheon. I remember. I think Film Threat did a review of it, and they really enjoyed it. It's basically a standard action movie, kind of like an old James Bond type of
yeah,
movie.
which when RRR was kind of similar. It's kind of interesting how the Indian studios have kind of sensed a gap in the American market and are kind of trying to hone in on it.
Yeah, I got to give them credit for finding finding what a need that needs to be filled. Yeah,
A niche, yes.
niche. Yeah,
Let's see here. Other parts of the top five: A Man Called Otto, aka
uh,
the Oscar bait movie that did not bait any Oscars. Because
yeah,
I don't remember seeing Tom Hanks's name in the Best Actors, and this feels like the type of movie where you bring in Tom Hanks because you're going, eh, yeah.
yeah. You like Tom Hanks, right? Right?
We don't know how much longer he'll be around.
Yeah. he's 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 the lovable guy that the American audiences really like, and everybody loves him.
Yeah, although apparently not enough to go to the theater to see it.
Yeah,
Because off of a $50 million budget, we're looking at 73 million worldwide. So even if even if distribution and advertising costs weren't a thing,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, how much of that $50 million budget was Tom Hanks's salary?
good question. A very good question.
Yeah,
So we've got, is it, did you say Megan,
I
Mithrigan?
think I say Megan.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's Mithrigan, which is more
Mithrigan.
fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it rounds out the top five.
Mhm.
Pretty muted weekend, though February and January kind of usually movie dead zone.
Yeah,
Uh, Next big release is going to be Ant-Man and Quantumania, which
yeah,
could be interesting.
yeah. That Left Behind. They made another Left Behind movie. Oh my, what?
Yep.
Oh, what? Kevin Sorbo, of course.
Yeah. Although it isn't even good theology.
No,
Uh,
no, it's
like,
not.
if I'm sorry to say that if you believe in the rapture, basically there was no mention of the rapture at any point until I think it was a Scottish Presbyterian
Mhm.
came up with the concept in the 19th century. So you're not really have a leg to stand on.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
So I'm sorry, but
and
no
yeah.
budget listed. So
Yeah. And Dion says the only time I really appreciated Tom Hanks was the World War II museum. I haven't been
uh,
there yet. I need to check that out.
kind of like Bill Murray, who that might be a call up for something that's coming up in a minute.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's at his best in like the 80s, 90s before he started taking himself seriously.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy him in the Simpsons movie, like where basically, hi, I'm Tom Hanks, once again loaning my credibility to the U.S. government,
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. Yeah, and although I will say, Apollo 13 is one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, it's I watched it recently. It still holds up. Uh, but uh, but yeah, I mean, not I mean, obviously, this is it's we're January going into February, and um, not a whole lot coming out, and until Ant Man, which that's what, March,
I think it's February.
February. Okay.
But we have our answer over here. So I saw a link a minute ago.
Yes. There
And
it
of
is.
course, on the 24th, we have Cocaine Bear.
Ooh.
February 17th for Ant-Man, 24th for Cocaine Bear. Ant-Man didn't dare go directly up against Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
the the uh, the upcoming movie of the year of 2024. 2023. I might actually have to see that.
I might have to see it too, just to see how just I'm expecting it to just be completely bonkers.
Yes.
But now
So
the
so I think that we talked about how we kind of analyze this because we kind of just did it at first because it was fun, but I think that what it really kind of shows you is trends. Um, so I'm kind of a paleontology nerd. It's
Mhm.
like I really like dinosaurs, ancient life of all types. I used to be all dinosaurs, and then I started broadening my horizons to other stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a constant phenomenon in paleontology where some sort of creature gets somewhere that isn't ready for it, and it suddenly develops into something bigger than it should be. But then, so the example is South America was isolated for a long time. Before
Mhm.
South America and North America actually linked up, they had these fossils of some sort of raccoon that was the size of a bear. That's because some raccoon-like thing drifted over, and there was nothing to stop it, so it
Uh,
just got big. And then the land masses hooked up. It's only proper large predators came down to South America from North America,
uh,
and no more raccoon bear.
oof.
So I think that we're kind of in the nothing big is coming to the table to chase off some of these niche things. Because like a
Mm.
Left Behind movie that made $2 million has no business being in the top 10.
Yeah.
Um, Plane should be a bigger deal than it actually is, considering some of the names involved and the fact that it is that action movie that we were just saying that people keep going to India for these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because of issues like the unspecified virus of unknown origins,
Mhm.
uh, wokeness mixed with bad writing,
Yeah.
um, all people want to see are big spectacle things. So we've got our Avatar,
Mhm.
animated stuff like our Puss in Boots, um, horror like our Mithrigan,
Mhm.
and bits and pieces of Oscar bait, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Looks like it got back into theaters because they said, "Hey, we can squeeze a little more blood out of this stone."
Oh yeah.
And The Whale right behind it because
Yeah.
everyone's talking about Brendan Fraser there.
Yeah. And then women talking.
Yes, which might actually have a little bit of life in it because they took it from 200 to 700 theaters, which actually no 150 to 700 theaters, which never hurts.
Yeah.
But this is some doldrums here. This is some serious doldrums.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like this is the sort of environment where I would say if anybody at Netflix was clever, they would take a bunch of these movies that they've had on the service for the last that they've come out with the last few years
Mhm.
and put them out into theaters for like a month each or something.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can do is, oh no, it's advertising for our service on
Uh,
for movies we technically already lost money on anyway.
Yeah. Oh no.
But
Yeah.
as far as what people are watching from the safety of their own homes, uh, Black Adam has actually climbed its way up to number one after being out about a month on there.
Yeah.
And this isn't. This chart here is not. Black Adam is not. What do you call it? Does this not reflect HBO Max? This is just people buying it on disc, renting it on Redbox, or buying it digitally on Amazon or iTunes or Xbox or whatnot.
Yeah.
So this is people plunking down additional money for it. Not going to make it profitable because those projections that The Rock put up on Twitter are nonsense.
Yes.
But a little salve to the ego. Violent Night. Christmas movies are always so awkward to release because, like, do you release it when everyone's fresh on it, or do you wait for the next Christmas and hope that people remember it fondly?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a yeah. Yeah. It's 50-50, I think. Yeah.
Yep. Although Christmas movies do tend to have long-term legs, just because if you can become somebody's favorite Christmas movie and get played every year, that's a lot of opportunities to sell special editions.
Yeah.
Speaking of the home market, we're seeing a few things that are kind. Well, first off, they looks like they came out with House of the Dragon. Um, let's see, your video release date August 21st. It hasn't really shown up here, so that makes me wonder if there's a physical edition that finally came out.
Yeah. Maybe.
The timing would be about right for it.
Yeah.
Till is moving its way up. This one has had some controversy because everyone's like, why did this movie get in there instead of Till for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress?
Hmm.
I forget the controversy. It wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. We don't care.
Ticket to Paradise tanked a bit, so I guess it's not going to ride all the way to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Lyle Lyle Crocodile has just been tucked in there in this 9 to 10 spot for months now.
Huh.
Then we got a couple of things that are related to current releases because Netflix just came out with that 90s show, the sequel to that 70s show.
Which I've heard isn't very good.
I have heard mixed things, and that 70s show is something I really enjoyed back in the day.
Hmm.
But those things where you're like, I don't dare watch it again because I probably won't like it anymore, and I don't want to ruin the memory.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very pretty common with a lot of old television shows, especially sitcoms. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just. Yeah.
But Yellowstone's up there because the world is obsessed with Yellowstone, which the best description I've heard of it is basically tough cowboys in a soap opera.
Mm.
Uh, Devotion is in there. Halloween Ends is in there. More Yellowstone. The one that I thought
Dominion.
was interesting, the Dentist Collection. Do you know what that is?
I did no. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they don't have anything here for it, so that's just so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paw Patrol, which that's the first time we've seen it on this chart. So,
Yeah.
uh, but the one I noticed here was Harry Potter: The Complete 8 Film Collection, which I
Hmm.
suspect that Warner Brothers may have pushed or re-released with the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy video game. Is it actually already out yet?
It's
Uh,
either out or it's coming soon, I think.
let's find out. When do you
And
get?
hey, Ninja Toe, good to see you. And Dean Rhino says he booted up Callisto Protocol to play New Game Plus, and at the beginning cutscene, already glitched out. It reset itself.
Oh, sorry, man.
Jeez. Yeah.
Also, Hogwarts Legacy comes out on the 10th, so
Okay.
we're not
Yeah.
too far off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Ninja Toe next week. Yeah.
All right, so I think what this just tells us is, um, actually, so this list is more interesting because you see what people want to watch mixed with, like for in terms of long form versus episodic.
Right.
Um, Shows you that there's still a audience for Black Adam type movies, or at least people are curious about it now. They don't have to trudge to the theater.
Yeah. Or they would rather spend whatever $25 on a Blu-ray or or digital copy than
Right.
than get HBO Max.
Yeah, that's true. Better long term investment.
Hmm.
Elvis is doing pretty nicely for itself. Getting those Oscar nods certainly helped.
Yeah.
Um, and we're seeing more. I think that we're seeing more TV shows in here than we have in past weeks.
Yeah,
Um,
which that's interesting.
yeah, that itself is kind of interesting, just because it tells you that there might not be enough movies to meet all the demand.
Yeah.
Which I think is, which actually I think is kind of our drumbeat. Or what we're seeing here is like, again, the giant raccoon bear that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like, again, a $6 million movie imported from India should not be the number three movie in a healthy box office.
Right. Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
not to say anything bad about Pathan, because I haven't seen anything about it,
Yeah.
but it's just an unusual choice to have in there.
Yeah, yeah, you don't it's not a movie that you would normally, under normal circumstances, you would see in the box office in America, charting in the American box office.
It's like in August when that Dragon Ball Super movie was number one for a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. This is weird. This feels
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that about covers our things here. There's not a
Yeah.
lot of new trends. I think we're just seeing that some holes the that mainstream Hollywood isn't filling are being fulfilled by the raccoon bears. Which,
Yes.
if people like that term, I might just start using that as our term for
It-
for things that punch above their weight because there's nothing to fight them.
oh yeah. Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Speaking of people who kind of look like bears,